No,
Belum.
Mas
Oh,
A.
oke. Mulai teman-teman. Good, uh, good night, everyone. So we are from Group E, and today we will going to talk about our cases related to inclusive education and the solution and the implementation. First of all, let me introduce our members of the group. The first one we have Lulu Kalta Fadila Mutar, Maria Kristina Agus Mawadani, Muhammad Fani Andrian, Pupus Sabrina Wulandari, Sekar Ayu Ramadhani, Septia Tri Nur Islami, and Tarisa Amanda. Next, here's the table of contents. First one we have case 1 and solution. Next, case 2 and solution. Case 3 and solution, and ELT context, and the last one we have implementation based on UDL and IEP. Okay, next, case 1. There is a school that upholds such popularity that don't agree with the existence of inclusive education. Based on journal, through inclusive education, children with disabilities are educated together with other children to optimize their potential. This is based on the on fact that in society there are normal children and children with disabilities who cannot be accessed as a community. The research showed that the majority of parents still had a narrow understanding that the concept of inclusive was the same with student educational need or SEN. Here's the concept of labeling might understand as a misconception phenomenon. However, the majority of parents agreed to the SEN in regular school, but an understanding of separate learning is the responsibility of the special supervisor or interpreted as the conclusion officer. The implication need the education to understand the inclusion correctly and discuss the perspective of parents to contribute the success of learning in inclusive elementary school. Here we got the source from the journal Prima Educasia, perspective parents toward students diversity in inclusive education elementary school. Next, we have the solution. The solution for schools that prioritize accreditation ratings, talents, achievement. Inclusive education concept should not be a problem. The problem is when people still think exclusively. They are not aware that there are special treatment to make them known. The school parties have to show that they always give the same or even better treatment, and the school providing maximum support. Schools need to change perception and start showing the talents of all of the students without any exception. Apart from feeling valued for their talents, students with special needs become enthusiastic about studying and feel there is no difference between them and other regular students. Education for the community is also needed. Parents will think that students with special needs can disrupt their normal children needs to be educated again. Um, Next, we have case 2 will be presented by Sabrina. Sabrina, time is yours.
Okay, let's move to the next case. We have case number 2. What if the idea of inclusive education is only taught by teachers and not by the student? Based on the journal, we have a journal that taken from McDougall, David, King, Miller, and Clip. That's Examine student who had a friend or classmate with a disability had more positive attitude than the student without direct contact with students with disabilities. And next journal is Libersman et al. Note that positive contact with students with disabilities is only effective. It's only effective way to help students gain an understanding of knowledge about students with disabilities. That's why we assume that one of the good ways to make normal students respect the others with special need is creating activities that involve all students to interact, work together, and collaborate. Next, we have another journal, Salisbury, Gallus, Palambora, and Peck provided recommendation for promoting social interaction between students with and without disability. The first one is learning group. The benefit of learning group is we can uh, engage in solving problems, creating products, and we can learn with another friends. And number two is collaborative problem solving. And the benefit of these activities is to open communication and builds trust in the relationship. So this is can discover that uh, what is it working together to share outcome something like that. And number three is peers tutors. Peers tutors has benefit. The main benefit of peer teaching include, but are not limited to the following. Students can receive more time for individualized learning by direct interaction between students that promote active learning. And the last is modeling from teacher. The benefit of these activities is uh, these activities is effective to instruct strategy that allows students to observe the teachers and also the process of learning.
Classroom and poor learning environments were the other challenges for the teachers. Some of the students did not want to sit on the chair as their friends did. Vygotsky, 1978, views that only a truly differentiated learning environment can fully develop a child with developmental disability through higher psychological function and overall personality. The solution is the teachers teach students to ask questions. They can work in pairs. The key is to be considerate and respectful of when, where, and how those questions are asked. Everyone wants to be understood, and talking helps students see beyond the mystery of a disability. They also encourage students to get involved and show responsibility by working with their peers. At our school, the teachers pair students with different needs with each other and give them hands-on assignments to complete together. And next, we have case 3. How do we create lesson plans and material that can accommodate the needs of both special needs students and regular students? Option 1 is teacher create one lesson plan for the class, both regular and special needs students. And option 2 is teacher create two lesson plans, one for regular students and the other one for special needs student. The lesson plan for special needs student must be consulted and approved by a psychologist. The teacher can consult with people with higher knowledge about students with special needs, like a special education teacher, and collaborate to make a lesson plan that is suitable for both regular student and special needs student.
According to Carlson Theo Harris and others, there are six sections of a lesson plan that accommodate an inclusive classroom. There are lesson context, lesson content, lesson process, lesson product, lesson outline, and reflection. The first one is lesson context. In this section, the teacher begins by focusing on the larger picture, considering who the students are, how this lesson fits into the larger sequence of lessons, and the background knowledge that the student has. The second section is the lesson content. The second step begins with the teacher considering the goals and the standards that the students have to meet. In the beginning, the teacher has to already consider each learner instead of trying to fit a lesson plan that has been already designed. The third one is lesson process. In this lesson process, the teacher has to consider how the students demonstrate their learning, which has to link back to the lesson context. Next. The fourth one is the lesson product. This section requires the teacher to think about how to differentiate the teaching process to meet each student's needs, how the students will engage in the learning process, and how they, as a teacher, will present the material. The fifth section is the lesson outline. In this section, the teacher writes the introduction, the body, and the conclusion of the lesson. And the last part is reflection. After the teacher has written the lesson and finished the teaching section, reflection is needed to look back in the design and preparation, also the student's engagement. So, for example, if the teacher used certain media like videos or pictures, but then it's not really effective, then the teacher can consider that when they are making a lesson plan in the future. The next part is will be presented by Satya. Time is yours.
Based on 2013 curriculum, one of the foreign languages that students should be mastered is English. English has already been established as one of the subjects in a regular school in Indonesia from the junior high school level or Ministry of Education and Culture, article number 060 U 1993 cited in Suyanto. Since inclusive education is based on the regular curriculum, it means that students with SEN should follow it. Thus, students with special education needs and SEN also should learn English besides the other lessons. Teachers need to make an appropriate lesson plan for them. The lesson plan should be planned based on some criteria. The first is the methodology. The methodology the methodology used in teaching English should be made appropriate for students with SEN. Then the second, the teaching material should be catchy and attractive, but also appropriate. And then the third, the teacher should plan extra working time with the child. And then the fourth, the curriculum should be adapted for students with SEN, namely the pressure to cover the entire curriculum should be excluded and the focus should be on developing a few skills. And then the last is the teacher along with the inclusive education specialist should draw up an individual study plan For students with SEN, the English lesson should be very interactive. Emphasis must be placed on singing, playing, dancing, and drawing. Next, implementation in ELD classroom. Next, student profile example, James. James is year 10. He has pervasive developmental disorder. He is sociable with a good sense of humor. He likes to be with his classmates and to be seen to be like everyone else. He likes to know what is going around on him and to be prepared. So, respond well to routine. He needs to know the school environment well, so he is confident to move independently to classrooms, sport, or any other activities. He is quick at processing information when it is presented to him visually, but finds retaining information and recording his ideas a challenge. Sometimes it is hard for those around him to understand what he is saying. When he writes, for example, at around 8 p.m., he is often formed letters poorly, omits word, and his spelling and punctuation leave a lot to be desired. The next presentation will be presented by Lulu Haudat.
Okay, thank you. So here's the example of an inclusive class lesson plan based in ELT context. The standards of competency is that students can be read orally with teachers and friends in simple English, which is related to the immediate environment and in accordance with the world of children. So the basic competencies and indicators are: one, students can mention the names of fruits and vegetables, and then students can ask for something in context, and then students understand the shopping list. And then the indicators are: one, students can memorize the names of fruits and vegetables in English. Two, students can mention the name of fruits and vegetables in English with correct pronunciation. Three, students can request something using the phrase "I want to." And then four, students can complete the assignment, which is a shopping list. There will be addition indicator that students can interact or collaborate and help each other. Next. So here's the step by step of our lesson plan. In the first one is opening or engagement stages. First, the teachers condition students to take part in learning. Two, the teachers start the lesson by praying. Three, the teachers motivate students to be active in learning activities. Four, the teacher show them the photo or it can be the video of supermarket. Uh, Based on UDL concept, teachers should provide variety of materials so that we use photo and videos here since it's free and low cost, but it's still low tech using technology. And five, the teachers ask students about what they were thinking when these photos or videos was shown, so that students can grow the ideas in this context. And then number six, the teachers ask the students to talk with their desk mates about what they usually buy there. It's about fruits and vegetable, so that students, without any exception, will become involved each other or involved with the fellows. There will be an interaction among students. And then number seven, the teachers ask the student to talk with their classmates again about their favorite fruits and vegetable. After that, there will be an additional steps, which is teachers may ask students about the answer of their classmate, or teacher can collect students' feedback, so that there will be an interaction among students and teachers. So the medias are the materials and co-teaching approaches. The medias that we use are photos and videos. Since before, we have already the example of student profile, which is what is it? It's about James. We use photos and videos because it's understandable for James. It's clearly stated in the example that it will be easier for James to process information when it's presented to him visually. That's why we use photos and videos here. So, okay. So the next slide will be presented by Sekar.
And for the next part will be about the main session of the class. First one is using pictures and video. The teacher introduces types of fruit and vegetables in English. The second one is the teacher leads the students to follow what the teacher says. So here the teacher can start by saying the name of fruits and vegetables using the pictures and the video, and the students can follow how the teacher pronounce those words. And then number three, teacher gives some gesture while mentioning the words. This is to help the students understand more about how to pronounce or um, how to like express the word. Number four, teachers teaches the students the phrase I want to express a desire for something. And then number five, the teacher gives an example of using the phrase I want. So the teacher tries to make a sentence as an example for the students. And then number six, the teacher gives the students some flashcards. Number seven, the teacher asks the students to make example sentences using the phrase I want. This is done orally based on the name of fruits or vegetables on the flashcard. Number eight, the students are divided into groups of two. And number nine, the teacher explains that the student will complete the shopping list. So this activity is done in groups of two. And then number 10, the students interact, do peer tutoring, help each other, and they can complete the assignment together. As for the materials and co-teaching approaches to this activity in the main session, number one, SEN students are directed by the special teacher to pay attention to the pictures and video that are shown by the teachers. And then number two, SEN students are guided by the special teacher to mention some of the words that are spoken by the teacher. Number three, SEN students are guided to make an example of sentences using the phrase I want, and this activity is done orally or um, to be done to practice the speaking skill. And then number four, the SEN students are briefed on the assignment, which is to complete the shopping list. And then number five, the regular students and special teacher help the SEN students to participate in group work. To note that the media that is used is a flashcard. And then for the closing portion in this class, the first step is to the students to demonstrate their group work that they have done in a pair of two from the previous activity. And then number two, the teacher could ask the students what activities were carried out today and how the students felt. So the teacher asked the students to look back on what activities that they have done today and ask what the students feel about it. Like, is there any difficulties that they have while doing the activities? So there is a feedback from the students to the teacher.
about the activities that they have done today. And then number three, together with students, the teacher concludes today's lesson. So they repeat again what lessons they have learned. So um, what they have learned today, the teacher can make sure that the students remember about the lesson today. The number four, the teacher guides moral messages to students so that they are always grateful for God's gift. And then for the last step is the lesson ends with singing together, followed by praying after learning. And for the materials and co-teaching approaches, SEN students are instructed to participate in presenting the results of their group work, and that the special teacher asks the SEN students on what he feels about the activities and the class. For the references that we use in making this lesson plan is as listed in the presentation from minta.net and syllabus bahasa Inggris that we sampled it for the um, indicators and the skill that we took in this lesson plan. And these are a list of all the references that we use in making this assignment. And that is all that we can deliver in this presentation. We are sorry for any mistakes or incomplete things that um, we have in delivering or in material that we have compiled in this presentation. Thank you for listening.